Hello. Oh. Go on, let's do it together. You ready?
Yeah.
A 1 and a 2 and a hello. Synchronised.
Yeah. Welcome to Yard Shop Podcast episode 17. We've just looked it up.
Yeah.
17. That's loads.
It's a bit much, isn't it?
Do you think?
I think so.
Should we stop at 20?
Yeah.
I feel like every video at the moment we're opening with saying, hope you had a lovely Christmas and New Year.
Yeah.
How long do we say that for?
Well, I hope you had an awful Christmas and an awful New Year. Is that better?
No. I mean, we're on the 94th day of January currently.
So you can remember that, but you can't remember what number podcast we're on.
No.
Brilliant. For those that don't know, this is a podcast about us running a yarn shop. We talk about yarns, what's happening in the shop.
Yeah, the good things, the bad things. Just
random drivel that we end up wandering on about.
Yeah.
We are in case anyone's not noticed, a different part of the shop.
We've done a couple of videos here though now.
We've only done one.
Is this the first podcast here? Wow.
We're trying out something a bit different.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts.
I like it. I mean, you can see more of the shop, I suppose, behind us. More of the yarn wall.
Yeah. I just felt like New Year, new angle.
Sure.
This is the only other angle though, so next year we're scuppered.
We can't change angles every year. We could go over there. We could go over there.
We're just getting closer to the door.
Yeah, we're in the street.
Yeah.
So Christmas, we shut, how long? For 10 days over Christmas?
We did. We was going to shut for longer, but we needed to come back.
Well, no, we were going to shut until the Tuesday, and then we actually came back the Saturday before because I thought it was a little bit silly to not open on a Saturday because Saturdays are our best day.
And we needed to come back to pay the bills.
That's what it means, so we needed to come back on the Saturday, so we did. But as soon as we opened the door, customers were asking if we had all the new stocking that we ran out of before Christmas. And we were like, no, the brands are still off. Like, our suppliers don't have any stock, so how are we going to get stock? Which people were a little bit put out by, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like, what did they think we were doing? Just here all over Christmas restocking?
I don't know. We still get people, because there's a few people I spoke to before Christmas, and I was like, oh, next year we're going to get this, and probably late, like Jan, Feb, we'll get this in, and that. And then people are coming in last week, first week, fully open.
Yeah.
Oh, have you got such in? No.
No.
At the minute,
Give us a chance.
we're just running the shop on what we have and getting in the bare minimums, because what we don't want to do is, and we did this last year, we started the shop, we restocked it, spent a lot of money, all the bills were due in Feb, but Jan was relatively quiet.
Well, it wasn't, it was quieter than December.
Yeah.
But in terms of how quiet the summer was, it wasn't actually that quiet.
No, it wasn't that. But
so we're just being a bit cautious, aren't we?
Yeah, because we don't want a load of invoices in Feb, but the money we made in Jan is not enough to cover it.
Yeah.
We're trying to be mindful.
Yeah, exactly.
That said, we had to put a massive needle order in last week.
Yeah, needles and sock yarn. I think we ordered, I feel like it was nearly 7 kilos of sock yarn last week. And then we've had to order nearly 10 kilos this week.
Yeah.
Because it's just flown out.
You can see it just behind the mannequin. So the plain colours, we didn't restock.
No.
We're looking at a few new yarns.
Well, yeah, so hopefully sort of either today or early next week, we'll be placing an order for a brand new collection.
Yeah.
A brand new range, I suppose, is what you'd call it. So we're running the plain colours down. So we haven't restocked that, so it's looking very sad.
We also didn't want to restock it because the amount of money we spent on sock yarn a couple of days ago was obscene.
Yeah.
And it was just like, we can't, it would have been double that with the plain colours.
Well, the thing is, last week we ordered like 7 kilos. A lady came in and bought a kilo.
She was lovely.
She was knitting socks to send over to France or something, wasn't she?
Yeah, for a relative.
Yeah, and she bought 10 balls of sock yarn. Which
is great. From a business side of it, you look at 10 balls of sock yarn, you're like, made some money. From a, I've just filled the shelves, can you not buy my sock yarn?
Well, no, she literally was here when the delivery arrived.
Well,
and
she
came
bought,
back.
Yeah, she bought loads that morning, and we were having a lovely chat to her and a friend, and I was like, oh, because she was like, oh, you getting any more sock yarn anytime soon? I was like, well, funnily enough, there's a delivery this afternoon. So they popped out for tea and cakes and then came back and cleared us out of the delivery.
It looked like we hadn't restocked it, even though it had literally just arrived. Oh, so that went really well, and also it was the hand-dyed sock yarn as well, didn't it? That and we bought a new colour in of that, and that flew out. That went, so we've restocked that and bought another new colour in.
Well, it's a weird one for Opal as well because we've mentioned this in podcasts before. They discontinue a lot of yarns around this time, and conveniently they get relaunched under a different name.
Very similar, yeah.
So it's not like we can just restock all the stuff that's sold in December because a lot of it is either out of stock or there's barely any stock anyway.
Yeah.
So it's
all
kind of
their collections they've sold out of some of the colours, and they've only got like the colours that wouldn't sell.
Blues and greys for us don't sell for
Yeah.
socks. If anyone out there has got a yarn shop, do tell us what's your sock yarn colours sell for you. Any variegated blues and greys.
Yeah, they just don't sell.
Just sit. So we've brought in a couple of new colours, and we brought an extra hand dyed in. So I think when we first mentioned the hand dyed, what we were saying was a benefit was that if it does well, every month or so we'll just bring in a new colour.
Yeah, and so far we have done that.
We have done that. What was last week's colour?
Himalayas. I've got it here.
Himalayas.
This one.
This one, which reminds me of Jewel Spun.
Does it? Oh, golden green.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, the Jewel Spun Aran. It's very similar to the Wilderness one, which is by the same, because when it arrived, I thought, oh God, that is completely different.
I think this has got more browns in it.
Well, the green's lighter as well.
Yeah.
But I thought that it was Wilderness when it came, because I didn't realise you'd ordered a new colour. And I thought, that's so different. Like, if somebody wanted the same colour, that is so different.
Well, the problem is, I didn't consult you for the other new colour, because he was off poorly. Bless you.
I have been off poorly this week. The first, let me just say, this is the first time I've ever had any time off in any of my jobs for being poorly. And I had 4 hours off.
Yeah.
I came in the afternoon. So, yeah, that's trooper.
I don't like having time off when I'm ill.
I would love to have time off, but I feel guilty.
Yeah.
So I had, in the past 20 years, that's the first time I've ever had any time off. Anyway, so you ordered a new colour.
I went a bit rogue.
I saw the name of it. Let me just check the name. Can you see it now? So it's called Galaxy Glow.
Right, Galaxy Glow.
I was expecting blues, purples, pinks, like a galaxy.
Like the Milky Way?
Yeah.
Okay.
You ready?
Are you ready?
But you ordered it, so you saw the colours.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I love it. I would say it's more like fruit
it's
salad.
Like a cocktail.
Yeah. You know, like the sweets fruit salad, rather than Galaxy Glow. But, I mean, a pair of socks in that are going to be...
But when you hold that, if you bring that red one over as well, if you put that next to that, there's my thinking. We have a lot of neutral, well, not neutrals, but duller shades.
Yeah.
That pops.
But this looks quite nice together.
Yeah.
So you could do a sock in this with heels, toes and cuffs in this, or the opposite. You'd have enough to do 2 pairs.
Yeah, definitely 2 pairs. This is the Nit Pro Symphony Terror, for anyone that's not aware. It's merino wool and nylon. 100 grams, 400 metres a ball, fingering weight.
It's a hand-dyed, but mass-produced hand-dyed, mass scale hand-dyed.
Made on a large scale, so it is cheaper than a mum and pop hand dyed.
Yeah.
And yeah, we really like it. We brought it in at the trade show. It's been really popular. And they do a double knit. I don't think it's variegated.
I've not looked at it yet. You've mentioned it a couple of times.
Merino and silk,
yeah.
which sounds lush. So we might dabble in that next.
Yeah.
But if you're around, come and have a look at the Terror. It's really good if you want to get into the hand-dyed yarns, but you don't want to spend a fortune.
Yeah, because... I mean, a hand-dyed from an independent dyer will be like £21, I think, probably the last time I bought one. It was £21.
Plus, it could be even more than that.
Yeah, if you buy a sock set, it's £25, £26. So it is a good, because it's £14.50. We have had to put the price up a little bit because the cost price has gone up, basically.
Yeah, well, prices are going up.
Yeah, so we have put, it was £14 before Christmas, but now it's £14.50. But still, that's... a lot cheaper than...
That is a lot cheaper. And it's kind of like with the soft down, which is here, which if you want like a mohair type yarn,
Yeah.
on a budget,
It's
£5 a ball.
It's a good starter.
It's a good starter yarn, and it is just lush.
And it is lovely.
But sock yarn,
Oops.
now, I feel like we brought one of these in last year when there was only one colour available.
Yeah, we did.
This is Merino Walla. Is that Merino Walla or Wall?
I don't know, I don't speak German.
How would you pronounce that? It's not as toothy as Opal normally is.
No, because it's merino
Yeah,
wool.
it
So
feels softer.
Opal usually is just a blend of wools. It's not one specific wool. So this is their merino edition. So it's merino and nylon. It is a lot softer. We only have 2 colours of it in because we can't get hold of the other colours anymore. But it's lovely. And then there is a new collection that came out just before Christmas, and we considered bringing it in just before Christmas as well, and then talked ourselves out of it, thinking we don't want that bill to be paid. We don't want to have to pay that bill in January, so we didn't get it in. But in hindsight, we should have got it in.
We should have got it in. But we're trying to be more cautious.
Yes. I'm tightening the purse strings.
You are. We said that last year and we didn't.
No. So this year I am being very strict on what we bring in. And so far, I mean, that's all we've done is restock the sock yarn so far. We haven't seen the other reps, so that's partly
and
why.
And needles, because circulars, for those that are new to the channel, hello. We used to stock Addis. We don't do that anymore because they introduced a minimum spend to wholesalers, to businesses. So we moved over to the Nit Pro things, which we hummed and hawed for a while about. And with the Addy having that minimum spend, we were getting to the point where we were practically running it down to 1s and 2s of sizes and then putting an order in. But because we had to put that order in and make it last, that order ended up being
huge.
It used to be hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and it was just not a viable option. So we finally bit the bullet. We brought the Nit Pro things in. It's been well received. They're flying out, and it is so much easier now. Like at Christmas, we were flying out 40 centimetre.
Yeah.
I don't know what people are doing, but it was nice to be like 40 centimetre. All right, we'll just get 6 40 centimetres in 4 mil done.
Yeah.
It's been so much easier to maintain it.
To keep the stock at a certain level, which we like to have so many of each size in. And we've been able to do that. So I don't think I've had to turn anybody away because we've not got the size that they need.
No, we used to be sending people away going, oh, try John Lewis. Or people would come in, they would have a look, and then on the way out they'd be like, oh, I was looking for a circular, but you don't have it in stock. We need to make every sale count, particularly with you going on maternity and possibly having to hire somebody. It's sort of a weird part of the business now where we need to be a lot more, I don't know. It seems silly saying money conscious because we've always been money conscious, but we also was like, well, we really like the Addis, so we will stick to the Addis. You just have to get to a point where you're like, money wise, we just need money in the till.
So it's focus on what sells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are going to look at wooden ones. I know people have asked. We are looking at that. We did bring some wooden interchangeable needle sets in because interchangeable sets flew out.
Yeah.
Zing ones are completely out of stock with suppliers. Wool needles, not in stock till March.
As in like finishing needles for your sewing and in of your ends. Yeah, our suppliers are out of stock until March.
Clover and Moores, they're out of stock.
The
I
crochet
don't think
hook.
that as late, but that's still, yeah, there's a big gap.
Yeah, so even if we're trying to restock certain things, we're at the mercy of if our suppliers have got it as well, which some people are finding it difficult to understand. I can't just magic them out of thin air.
You got to think as well, the suppliers are still catching up with December. They need to restock for us to restock. And also for us as well, like, we need to do a Sirdar restock. We're trying to do that strategically because in March, we've got 2 new Sirdar yarns. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I promise this time. We won't spoil it.
We already have the footage. We're just not allowed to share it.
Yeah, so that's the restock.
Yeah.
What else has been happening? If anyone could hear club music, by the way, there's like a running group that meets in town.
Yeah.
And they're all spandex and lycra. They're running around town listening to drum and bass. Whatever floats your boat. It doesn't float my.
They were off last week though, weren't they? They didn't brave the weather.
It was too cold.
Yeah.
Absolute wusses.
Was it snowing last week? Yeah, it was last week that it snowed.
Not in town.
Not in town.
We dug literally It was like Narnia where we lived. We lived in Stapleford. We dug the car out. Our daughter was just bouncing off the walls.
Which is only like 15, 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
She wanted to make a snow angel on the way to nursery. So I was digging the car out literally with a brush, like a broom, brushing all the snow off the car. And she's going...
Also, not a full-size broom. Hannah's got one of those little diddy brooms.
Yeah.
You looked ridiculous.
No, I didn't. Well, you could have done it. I couldn't reach the centre of the
car.
What's it called? The centre of the roof. So I just had a strip like a mohawk.
A go faster stripe.
But yeah, it was that bad. We had to I had to clear like the snow behind the car so I could get out of the drive. And then we got like 10 minutes away from town and there was just no snow.
No. And it definitely went up 4 degrees because it was mild. There was people in jackets like this just wandering around town.
But we wore all of our snow gear, didn't we? We had our not snowshoes, like walking boots on and everything.
I had my 8-ply socks on.
But then, in turn, you then, because you had such big boots on, kicked something in the car and dislodged it. So we thought the car had broke.
Well, we filled up with petrol.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Hannah went to set off, the handbrake warning came on.
Yeah.
We lost a load of noises. We couldn't open the boot.
The indicators wouldn't work.
The central locking went.
What else happened? The lights on the dashboard and the temperature gauge all went.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my gosh, what's happened? So we managed to get into a garage anyway. And he said that somebody who sits in the passenger seat, naming no names, has kicked something out, like a plug out or something.
Well, our last car, it put us on edge as well, because our last car was making all sorts of noises. And your dad was like, it's fine, needs a bit of oil. Anyway, it kept breaking down. We had a whole mare on the way to the office one day.
Yeah.
And then on the way home, we were like, look, we're not driving the car, there's something wrong. Hannah's dad drove the car. The engine blew up.
Did it?
It blew up because Paul had to rebuild it.
Oh.
And then, we buy any car and not watching this, definitely. The engine light kept coming on after Paul had fixed the car.
Mm. So Paul is our neighbour, but he's also a mechanic, and we used his garage, the garage that he works at.
And I'm sure this is definitely not fraud. But we decided to sell the car. The engine light kept coming on, so we figured out that we could get to Chilwell till we buy any car before the engine light came on.
Right.
So Paul, do you remember, cleared the faults.
Yeah.
We went to We Buy Any Car.
Sold the car.
We also paid like 50 quid for a valet, so the car looked like the day we bought it.
Yeah.
And the guy at We Buy Any Car came out and went, this is a great looking car. You have looked after this car. Now, if you knew Hannah's driving, that is a concern. And the fact that he looked at it, turned it on and went, no, everything's great.
Yeah.
Offered us a really great price.
Yeah.
And then went, oh, would you like the expedited payment? It's £20. Yes, please. Please do.
You can have it within like 3 hours or something.
Yeah. So we immediately got out of there.
Yeah.
Got that money, transferred that before they could have it back.
Yeah. Well, actually, we spent it on a new boiler, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because we had a new baby. That was when our daughter was first born.
And our boiler blew up.
Oh, God.
So we bought a new boiler.
Yeah.
Selling the car that blew up that was probably fixed slightly sideways.
Yeah. And then the car that we have now is my grandparents' old car because they decided to give up driving. So we just inherited their car.
Yeah. Which is quite an old car.
It is an old car. It's over 20 years old. No, it's nearly 20 years old. But it's big. So the reason that we got it is because we could fit the buggy in, because we couldn't fit any of the baby stuff in our old car.
We had a Ford Fiesta.
Yeah, and we couldn't even fit the buggy in the boot. You had to have it in the boot and on the passenger seat. It was ridiculous. So this car that we have, you can fit baby stuff in. And luckily, we are using the same buggy again, so we know that it fits in the car.
We're looking after this car a lot more. I don't think we ever serviced that other one. Which I always feel...
No, we did. We used to send it to Sandycliff.
That was for the thingy. We never serviced it because we never got all the stamps in the book. That's probably why the engine blew up. Oh. Which I always feel really bad about because the previous owner was an older lady that looked after that car. It was kept in a garage, barely did any miles. we got hold of it.
Well, anyway, nobody cares. What's your new yarn that you've got to talk about?
I wasn't going to talk about that just yet, but I guess you're bringing this into the equation.
Rather than cars.
Rather than we buy any car.
I know that people are going to ask what this is, by the way. So this is a Sirdar pattern. It is, I've got it over there, 10807. And it is a very, very Sophie shawl-esque scarf. And I'm knitting it in the jewel spun chunky for a shop sample.
And what's your jumper?
This jumper is Poison Girls Beauty School top. I knit it in 2020. It was my first COVID project. And it's knit in a baby yarn that I can't remember what it is because it was so long ago.
Links below.
And then this is hand-dyed Hocus Pocus sock set, mini skein set from Beehive Yarns.
That was in a video, wasn't it?
Yes, it is in a project video.
Which, if I remember, which spoiler alert, I won't, the video link will be up here.
And the pattern is a modified habitation throw.
Nice.
Thanks.
Anyway, should we pull this back to yarn?
Sure. Well, that is about yarn.
Before that, we were sort of talking about conning we buying a car. Yeah, so last year, Taylor's Lifestyle popped in. Lovely couple. Owner of Best Beard as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We spoke about Nottingham yarns and wanting a local Nottingham
We did.
breed, as it were.
And they told us about a farm.
Yeah, I think it's her daughter.
I thought she said it was her brother last year. I can't remember.
I can't remember. My brain is a sieve, so I apologise if you're watching this. But she popped in the other day, and here we have.
Well, we couldn't find the farm, could we? We looked for it.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't remember where she said it was. So we knew that she said it was near Bingham, and we just couldn't remember. But then she came in again.
Yeah, and we have these samples. So Bingham, in Nottingham, it's their sheep. They like to use every part of the animal, so you can buy the lamb chops and all that sort of stuff. Fleece is the last one, and normally this would either get put in landfill. I think they've started selling it to the Bradford wool people that do all the wool certification and stuff. But we're hoping in the next few months to be able to introduce proper Nottingham wool.
A limited batch.
Yeah, it's not going to be like your traditional 12 colour range and all that. Like, this is the sheep colour. Like my
your jumper.
Me Arthur Beale jumper.
Me Arthur Beale.
Me Arthur Beale. And yeah, it will just be rough and ready. At the minute, the packaging is literally just some grease proof and one of their stickers. Let me put it that way so you can go see it. I'll put some links below. So we still need to work out like meterage, and we were saying about trying to have the story of the farm on there and things like that so people can connect to it. They can go follow what they're doing. But I'm really excited about having this. For anyone that's wondering, it doesn't feel as toothy as you would imagine. It does have some toothiness. I feel like it's quite nice. It doesn't irritate me.
No.
It doesn't have the farmy smell, so I don't know if they wash it or what. But it's exciting.
I mean, you were saying something about it in a skein versus a ball.
Yeah, so obviously this isn't the best example of a skein, but what would you prefer to see it as? A skein or a ball?
Obviously, a skein you'd have to wind it yourself.
Yeah.
And a ball you wouldn't.
Yeah. But then I feel like people buy skeins
to look at.
Well, I just feel like, because it's not going to be cheap, like, I think, based on all of their costings, because we want them to get the money's worth from this, that it needs to be viable for them. So for us to make a few quid on it, we're still going to have to sell it for like 15, 16 quid, which, yes, I know, it's expensive. It's really small batch. This is like the niche of the niche when it comes to this sort of stuff. I just feel like when you're putting that sort of price point on, people want it in a skein. It feels nicer. It feels
I
posher.
know what you mean.
I liken it to, if you bought a loaf of baked bread from Tesco in their bakery section and put a piece of greaseproof and put Tony's Bakery, people would immediately pay £2 more.
Yeah.
But if you put Tesco's on it, it immediately cheapens the product for some reason.
Well, the issue as well is because we're VAT registered, we have to put VAT on everything that we sell. So even if it's a small business, so for example, the Collinsy hat and wrist warmer kits that we have, or the project bags that we have, or the handmade pom-poms that we have, even if those businesses aren't VAT registered, we have to put VAT on them because we are.
Yeah.
So we're automatically already losing 20% on whatever we're selling it at. So,
and there's probably not going to be enough to make like a massive jumper or cardigan.
No,
This will be shawls, scarves, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I am really excited about finally having
a Nottingham
yarn.
Yeah.
So
we do get a lot of tourists in wanting local yarn, don't we?
Yeah.
And whereas we can offer them the Scottish yarn that we have, or we used to have the hand-dyed yarn that we did here, having an actual yarn that's Nottingham is cool.
Yeah.
That'll be really good.
So let's get working on that.
Yes.
And if we have any updates, as always, we'll pop them up on videos and socials and things like that. These are behind the till, so if you are popping in at any point and you want to have a squish, just give us a nudge. Yeah.
And have we got anything else to talk about?
I saw my dad yesterday.
Yeah.
So I've not spoken to my dad in 12 plus years.
Something like that.
I was in Tesco's buying Hannah soup yesterday. And I was looking at crisps, and I had a very specific crisps choice in my head.
Yeah.
And the guy in front of me was my dad. What the hell?
Just bumped into him.
So we had a quick chat.
So random.
Yeah.
And then you came back with the wrong crisps.
Yeah, the whole thing threw me off my crisp choice.
So I had to go back out and get you crisps.
Yeah. What can I say? But I'm pretty sure he had pork pies in this basket, so...
That's where you get it from?
That's where I get it from.
Must be.
Yeah.
What else did you have in his basket? Did you have a good look?
Onion rings, frozen ones.
Oh.
I can't remember. Weirdly, I was sort of like more focused on connecting to my dad that I've not seen in.
Oh.
Not what's in your basket.
Should have
I
gone.
should have knelt down and had a rummage in his basket.
Oh, what you got?
Oh.
Oh, I wouldn't buy that. Have you looked in the reduced section?
Oh, not them pork
If
pies.
it had been full of reduced stock, then I would have said absolutely that is your dad because
Without even seeing his face, but that's dad.
Yeah. I'm sure you've got something else to talk about, but it's completely gone.
Oh, I've got loads to talk about. We've been watching Banjo and Row.
Oh yes, have you watched Banjo and Row yet on BBC iPlayer? We mentioned this in the little project video that we did last week because they've got some really cool hats.
All the time in the shop. It's cosy television.
I'm really hoping they do a second series.
Yeah, they must do.
Yeah.
I've seen so much feedback being positive about
Well,
it.
they've not finished the hotel.
That's true. So for people that aren't familiar, why don't you give us a rundown?
So it's an Australian couple that I believe have lived in Scotland for 10 years, and then they lived in Mull, and then they've bought... No, they haven't. They haven't bought the hotel. They've become custodians of the hotel on the Isle of Ulva, and it's dilapidated and needs renovating. So that's what they're doing. They're renovating it and making it into a really nice place to visit. And there's only like 18 residents on the island, which is amazing.
And you can't own any property. Everything is owned
by
a committee of people on the island.
Yeah.
So they had to get approval from them to do what they're doing.
Yeah, so even though they're putting all the money into it, they will never actually own it. But it's really good, and there's 6 episodes. We finished it. We were really strict with ourselves not to watch more than one a night, weren't we? So we watched it over a week. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it.
And it feels like a Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
If Wes Anderson did a makeover show, this would be it. Both of them together are just great chemistry.
So, are they married? I think they are married, aren't they?
I think
so. Was it Banjo that was on Interior Design Masters?
Yeah. And he's released a great book that I want to
really?
try and pick up at some point. And yeah, there's just some amazing shots because you can see so Ulva's this tiny island, but then you can see over there the actual big island.
Is that Mull?
That's Mull. And so there's these great shots where he'll buy like a 6-foot bar for one of the rooms, and it'll just cut to him going over on this boat with this bar hanging
Little
off
ferry.
there.
I quite enjoyed, because we have the King Cole Chunky Tweed, and that's named after Scottish islands. So we have one that's called Ulva, and we have one that's called Mull and Orkney and all this, and I quite enjoyed then seeing the islands that they're named after. Even though they've got nothing to do with the island.
Yeah, it's definitely a lifestyle that I'd like to have.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that they obviously... They've definitely had a hand in it, because there's some great stuff where, like, Banjo wants to learn about the island, so he literally takes some chairs out to a field and sits and watches 2 people that do a podcast, having a podcast. Or there was a lady that does spiritual stuff and makes stories based on fantasy in the island.
Yeah.
So they gather everyone in the field to sit and watch this lady doing all this stuff with a wolf head and stuff.
Yeah.
It's completely weird and obviously staged, but it just feels right for the show.
Yeah.
And it is far more entertaining and rewarding than the last thing we watched and talked about on this podcast.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Something to do with crocheting. Britain's best crocheter.
Game of crochet.
A game of crochet? Crochet or not to crochet? To crochet?
That is the question.
But anyway, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It linked will be below. I've also been watching a gentleman that maintains lighthouses.
You keep talking about this, and I've not seen it yet.
I'm going to have to show you it. It is one of my dreams, is to pop out for some milk
And just live in a lighthouse.
and live in a lighthouse. And then I'll come back with the milk in a few years' time.
Oh, right.
But yeah, it'll get flown to a lighthouse in the middle of nowhere, live on it for a week, maintain it, fly off again.
Oh, so it's not actually his house then?
No. He works for the company that maintains them. And it is just the most relaxing TV.
We'll have
Even
to
though
watch it.
that's why I'm completely of the opinion that the days of TV are dead. We shouldn't be paying for TV licenses, and YouTube is where the best content is.
Yeah.
Because that is brilliant. That guy we watch that does random... I'll put the link to it below, where it'll be like, why is this yellow?
Oh, the small questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. We've recommended him in the shop a few times. Why is milk cartons the colour they are, kind of thing?
Yeah, why is green milk green and blue milk blue and all this?
Yeah.
He did one about Peter Pan being the only character that will never come out of copyright because it's owned by Great Ormond Street Hospital.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, where it's just 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Bish bash bosh, all you need. You don't need 18 episodes, loads of drama, 14 camera angles for entertainment. You just need a guy talking about why housing bricks are a certain colour, or why you see the triangles into old buildings where they were doing the ley lines and measuring and all that.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Simple TV.
I don't feel like we've been very, not educational, but informative about the shop this time.
This is all we do is talk drivel.
I know, it's just an insight into our brains. I think my brain is mush because I've got a cold.
Yeah. We had somebody message Facebook. Oh, if I say this, it's going to really wind me up, and then I'll be wound up all day, but I might get it off my chest.
Okay.
Somebody messaged basically asking for accessible workshops, which we're a very old building. We can't do. We don't own the building. I said we can't do. Recommended UK Hand Knitting, which, if you're not familiar, has a directory of all the independent yarn shops, the map, something local, blah, blah, blah. Basically came back and said that she was going to check the law because we don't want disabled people in the shop. Now, this got my back up for a number of reasons. One, we have a lot of regular customers that are disabled, whether that be in a wheelchair or whatever.
Yeah.
The day that they messaged that, about an hour before that, we had a lady in a wheelchair with an oxygen tank, and we put the ramp out, we moved the islands, we made the shop accessible for her.
Uh-huh.
For her to come back and go, you don't want disabled people in the shop, really wound me up. We can't modify the building because it's not our building. It will cost tens of £1,000s just to see if we can modify the building, which, unfortunately, spoiler alert, we ain't got. And we can't do them in the evenings because you work all day in the shop and we have a family.
Yeah.
And when we first took over the business, we looked at outsourcing to hire a space and do workshops there. It's been 18 months of chaos. we have not had the time to finalise, because we put a post out on Beastin Updated, we have a list of venues, we still have it on the laptop. We just haven't had...
We contacted a lot of them though.
Yeah.
We were in talks with one particular one, and they were just a nightmare, weren't they? They were like, you can only come between this hour and this hour on a Sunday. You can't come any other time. And I'm like, right, so I would have to work a 6th day, leave my daughter, charge more for the workshop because you're going to charge me for the workshop space. It was just, it just didn't add up. And then they just never got back to us.
It's finding the right space, because if we hire a space, we want it to be on good bus routes, have parking, be affordable, because if it's 20 quid to hire the room, that's manageable. If it's more than that, then obviously that has to go on the ticket, and we don't want people paying 40 odd quid. We need to still make a couple of quid out of it for petrol and things like that.
Again, there's VAT on top of that.
And there's VAT on top of that. So we never finalised it, because unfortunately we've been running the shop.
Well, people recommended quite a few cafes and stuff, but when we looked into it, again, all of their toilets were upstairs or downstairs, and that's, or you'd have to do it when the cafe's open, so it's busy, loud. It just isn't, we haven't found the right space.
Yeah. So we've not got around to doing it.
No.
But for someone to say that to me, I'm just like, you really do not understand what we are trying to do with this business. We've tried to make this as inclusive as we physically can. We are looking at other shops for the future, but you need to understand that wherever we move the shop to, you're looking at an extra £1,500 to £2,000 on the rent.
A month.
On a month. Then you probably add business rates to that.
Yeah.
So then you're looking at an extra £3,500 on top of what we already pay out now.
Yeah.
Just to have a wool shop that's got more of an accessible space. By which point, it's not financially viable and the shop shuts down. So, yeah, it frustrates me, because she said she'd come in and looked at the stairs and all that. And I'm like, well, if you've popped in, just talk to us. Like, we are open, we will chat. We will tell you the good and bad of things. Like,
I really don't like that she's been sneaky and come in and had a look at the stairs without asking. Like, our stairs are not in the customer section of the shop.
No.
So for you to have come and had a look at our stairs, you've had to leave the customer floor, go into the staff space, and that's annoying.
But we also put a video up of the workshop space, because we've been asked before, well, I might be able to do it. How's that, the stairs, how's the handrails and things? So we've put videos out there. We've tried to be transparent as we can. We are actively looking for other spaces that are viable financially.
Yeah.
And we've made this shop as accessible and as inclusive as we can for everyone.
Yeah.
We want to do more. These islands are supposed to be movable, but they're not enclosed, so they're hard to move. We want to do these adjustments. We just need to get money in the bank to do them.
Yeah.
We can't change the toilet because I barely fit in it. You can't get a wheelchair to the toilet.
Yeah.
You can't... Anyone that needs handrails, I think it's not going to work. There's a whole myriad into it. So for someone to just go, well, you're not willing to do it, you don't care about it. No, there is so much that goes into this.
Yeah.
There is so much that goes into running a business that to then try and put 3 hours of our time into this just to find a space, then you've got to contact them, then you've got to do...
It just, for me, it just makes me go, well, then I won't bother doing any workshops. Why should I bother? If someone's going to moan that much, why should I bother doing it? I just won't bother doing any at all. The amount of effort that we put into them and the cost that is behind them, why should we bother? That's what it makes me feel like. I used to have the same problem when I used to manage Bird's Bakeries, especially the one in Beeston, because the toilet was upstairs and a lot of the customer base was elderly. They used to... a demon. They used to complain all the time that the toilets were upstairs, and we didn't own the building. We couldn't do anything about the toilets being upstairs, and the toilets are still upstairs. It's never changed, and I've not worked there for 10 years. 8 years, 10 years. So it's something that businesses do have to deal with. And when you don't own the building yourself, you can't always make those adjustments.
Yeah.
So it's an argument that's been going on for a long time, but it's just the way that she was so aggressive and just attacked us as if we're not bothered at all, when she clearly does not know us. She says that she comes into the shop. We had a look. She's spent 40 quid in the last 4 years. So she's not a regular customer. I just feel like she had a bad day.
Yeah.
And thought, I'm going to pick a fight with these people.
Which, I don't know, it's just imagining. Because we've only had the shop for 18 plus months. There's a lot we want to do, but it all costs money.
Yeah.
Like, we want to redecorate the toilet because it's gross. It costs money. We want to sort the kitchen out because the worktops are falling apart. It costs money. We need to sort the shop floor out. We need to figure out what money we have and where is the best space to do it. For the last 18 months, that money has been spent overhauling the shop on all the new stock. This year we're having a baby, so whatever we have, we'll put together, and then at the end of the year we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're very open. People can talk to us. We put a video up where we said about how much it costs buying stocking and all that. Yeah. I don't like to dwell on it because we have so many amazing people that pop in. It's just stuff like that. I'm like, please, just talk to us. And especially at the minute, because I've seen every day so many independent businesses are closing. There's yarn shops that are closing. I've seen a few that are shutting down. And it's because we are just getting absolutely rinsed on the high street for bills and costs and everything else. That it's getting harder and harder to run a business unless you're a Fortune 500 mega brand like John Lewis. And if the high street only consists of that, give up.
Yeah.
People need to understand that if you're an independent business, a lot of the time you might be an independent business, but you ain't got a lot of money. And what money you do have has to go on a myriad of other things. And yeah, it does make it when people come in and they'll grumble because we're 20p more than Wool Warehouse, or they can see it cheaper online. Well, then go buy it online, but then you'll only come back and tell me you don't like the colour. We have to sell it for what we sell it because we have running costs and stuff. And we try to pretty much 99% of the time stick to recommended retail pricing. But sometimes we are more expensive than online because we have a shop to run. We're not just a website.
Well, when you look online at some of the prices, they are ridiculous. Like, I don't know whether they're receiving a discount for the amount of stock that they buy at once.
It's that thing as
so
well.
So they can sell it cheaper.
And competitive. If you've got 20 million websites that are all selling the same thing for the same price, how do you make a sale? Well, let's drop it by £1. I'd knocked your boob then, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that's all I'm saying on that. It's hard at the minute. There's so many businesses that are shut in or having a tough time. It's not been easy for us. We've got the council floating around at the moment because apparently we're using the wrong bags for our rubbish. And then when I pointed out the bags we use, she was like, oh no, they're right. Somebody just make their mind up and stop charging me a fortune for them.
Yeah, they charge a fortune for the waste bags.
Like hundreds of pounds.
Which is ridiculous, just so we can throw our rubbish away, our cardboard away. And they're moaning because we have a tape that we can put over the cardboard, which we get from the council.
Which every other business uses.
Which every other business uses, and apparently you're not allowed to use it. Why are you letting me have it?
Well, they're not sure if they're allowed to use it. They need to speak to their bosses, but the bosses haven't got back to them.
But then the bosses have never seen this tape before. Somebody's making this tape and giving it out to businesses to use on their recycling, but then other people don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So I guess my takeaway is, please go easy on your independent businesses that are local. Go pop in.
Support them.
Support them. It might cost a few quid more, but honestly, you'll make their day. And that's all I've got to say. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I am very tired.
We need to open the shop. It is gone 10 o'clock.
Thank you if you got this far. As always, feel free to subscribe, like, comment the video, and all the ridiculous stuff that you have to do when you make videos.
Yeah.
Feel free to pop in. Feel free to squish my balls or our balls.
Oh.
And look out for the new yarns.
Yeah.
They are very exciting.
The ones that are coming out from Serdar, they'll be out in March. So I won't be here when they're released. I will be here in spirit.
On spirits.
I'll have to come in and we'll do a video on it.
Yeah.
Before the baby's born.
We're organising a live stream for the birth.
Oh, are we?
Yeah. I said we'll do a workshop while you're in labour.
I wouldn't be surprised if people asked. Sorry, can you just show me how to do a double crochet again? No. People are very perturbed that my workshops are finishing for a few months.
It's the only guaranteed income we have right now, so please stop. Stop having a baby. Please do workshops.
No, sorry, having a break.
I've got bills to pay. Right, should we open the shop then?
Yes, let's do it.
Do you know what? Oh, no, that lady's just gone to try the door and I made eye contact.
Oh dear.
That's the only person that's tried the door all morning.
Yeah, well, it's only like 10:05.
Yeah. Busy day.
Yes.
I'm going to film a shortened minute of all the new sock yarns things, so look out for that. Mm-hmm. Feel free to follow us on socials, blah, blah, blah. What you're making. Did you have a good break? And we'll see you all very soon.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.